You are watching the Kingdom School of Empowered Living. Tonight, the topic is making it count. Grab your pen and notebook and join me in welcoming Shamron Munroe.
Hi, I'm Sharon Munroe, and thank you for tuning into Kingdom School of Empowered Living. Such a beautiful time to be here as we are going to discuss and get into the Word. Making it count is what our theme is in this particular session. Well, I want you to understand that wherever you are watching us, I want to say pleasant good afternoon, a pleasant good evening, a pleasant good morning to you for watching and tuning in. Like, share with your friends and family. It's going to be an amazing time. Well, we're talking about making it count. And Ecclesiastes is our scripture text. So get your Bibles, get your pens and paper, take a moment as we get into the word. This word, Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 1 to 8, it reads, a time and a season for everything. Now, when I read this text, and I'm going to read to you in this session, I began to think about what it has to do with making it count. It's a time for everything. And I think you've got to understand that where we are now in the world, there is a time for everything. So let's read. There's a time in everything and every season for every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to pluck up what is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace, a time to refrain from embracing, a time to gain and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to speak, a time to be silent, a time to love, a time to hate, a time of war, and it's a time of peace. Well, my brothers and sisters, for those who are watching and viewing for the first time, there is a time for everything. Now, right now, as you are engaging in the session, this moment is also your time and your season for something new that's about to happen. You might be experiencing some challenging times. Well, from this text, we recognize now that there's a time for everything. So there's this word for you to comfort you even now that time means that it won't last always. A new season is always on the horizon. So when you think about what is time, I want you to define it. And for those of you on Facebook and social media platform, I want you to hashtag Mike, making it count. Hashtag Mike. Time is defined as a measure of change in a physical quantity or a magnitude used to quantify the duration of events. Time is the measure. Time allows things to be measured and allows things to change. It allows things to develop, it allows things to come into its fullness. And it also allows things to pass away and to end. And we want to understand that if you're going to make it count in this season of your life, if you're going to make it count right now, brothers and sisters around the world, you're going to make this moment count. Your relationships, your friendships, your family, your finances, you're engaging with government agencies and making business deals and contracts, but also making sure that everything that you do it aligns itself with the relationship with the Creator, the head of your life. the head of all creation, the creator of all creation. We've got to make it count. We've got to make this moment count for us, because in life that time is going wrong right now. So here's what I believe that time is. Time is the development of a thing on the basis of the discipline required and the existence of that thing, the principles that are necessary for maturation. What do I mean? Time is that process, is that mechanism, that system that is used to develop you and I, a thing, a person, a place, a land, even in your surrounding neighborhood. There was once upon a time when the neighborhood was not full of people. There was once upon a time when you probably had neighbors. There was once upon a time you probably had you had a cornfield, or you had a forest in front of you. You had ocean view. And then where you live now, there's hotels, or there's a train or railroad tracks, or there's a school building, or it's transformed into another city. Time causes that development, that area, that thing, that person, that place to change based on the discipline. So in time, there is discipline, and there is that place of discipline that is required. Why? Because everything in life, as you engage it, has a discipline, has a principle of discipline that you must operate by in order for it to function. And that takes time. That's what time is about. That takes the development of the thing in order on the basis of the discipline that is required. The discipline is required. It's a time for everything. It's required for the seasons to take place. It's required because can you imagine if there was long winter, just winter from January all the way to December, just winter. I don't know. Maybe some of you might not have survived. You must understand that seasons are important in time so that you experience the winter. But also there is spring. And then there is summer. And then there is autumn. And then back around again we get winter. So the seasons are important. So within those seasons there are certain disciplines. And what do I mean? If we are in winter, we would never wear the same clothing that we're wearing in the summer during the winter. So therefore, our discipline, the season then dictates, it demands for us to develop a discipline for that season in order for us to thrive and survive and function and flourish as we live purposefully in time. I want you to understand that discipline is necessary for life, because if you're disciplined as you're developed, you will begin to understand that time is working for you and not against you. And that's why it's so important to understand, even when there's a time to die, or there's a time for mourning, or a time to kill, or a time to throw away, or time to tear down, those same connotations that seem to be negative happens to be a purpose for it to make sense, to make it count, in order for it to add up, in order for it to function, in order for life to go on. And as you would see, that time with a seed is planted in the ground and is developed, then it begins to develop roots, and as it begins to develop roots, it's still under the ground. You don't see anything yet. You are not seeing what's happening yet, but it's taking root. It's taking in the information. It's getting grounded. It's getting rooted. It's building foundation, and it's getting rooted in a season that is unknown to everybody else, but it is known to the person or the seed of the process that you're going through. The person who's being disciplined, who's undergoing that discipline, they understand what's happening. They are submitting themselves to that process, that season. Because as you know, when the seed now has grown and has a shoot, it shoots up. It's no longer staying in the ground as a seed. Now is now shooting up. It's now manifesting what has or what is planted. And it took time. And as it grows, even for a baby, a male, a female, they go through the process. The principle here is that it's a male. The principle is that it's a female. The principle of the thing never changes. So that's why you have to be disciplined, patience, waiting, being developed, educated, informed, information about the principle of the thing, so you do not devise or divide or divert from the focus and the development process of the thing. See, people are not making it count in life because they are not allowing themselves to be disciplined so that they can develop in principle to the seed that was planted within them, or the seed of information, the seed of revelation, the seed of identity, so that they can grow and become which they are already. An apple seed is planted, and through the process of the apple seed being planted, and as it grows, it does not transform into an orange tree. There's a time and there's a season for everything, but the principle of the thing doesn't change. It goes through seasons so it can be developed, so it can be transformed and changed, tested and proven. So as a result of the season, it produces the fruit of the character of the nature for which it is. And that's what's happening to you and I. You and I will begin to develop and grow and produce who we are as individuals from the beginning, when we were formed in our mother's womb, from the time of creation, from that beginning, inception, from that conception in your mother's womb. Who we are there begins to develop and grow, not to be changed in principle, but to be developed and disciplined, so that at the end of the day, we will become the fruit of which was in principle, and that is becoming a great young man from a baby boy, a great young woman from a baby girl, a great individual that transforms now lives of people as a leader, a prime minister, a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, a custodian, a preacher, accountant. That individual grew, developed, was disciplined by time. And that's how you make it count. The same thing for a girl. She changes, she grows, she develops. And that's how you make it count. You make it count by taking time to develop. Okay, and we're going to get into what the word make is in a few. The word make is the root word there for make is the same word for manufacturer or manufacturing. Okay? So let's go back to time. What time is? I believe now the time, because it's something that you have to be disciplined with so that you can be developed. Simply put, T is the training. Time there is your training moment, is your development moment, it is your teaching moments in your life. So wherever you are, where you don't know who you are, you don't know yourself, you're ignorant to the nature, you're ignorant to the biology, you're ignorant to the fashion and the form that you are in this world, then you must now take time, be taught, be trained, be developed, be disciplined, So you can manifest the essence, the character, the nature, the principle of who you are. In the beginning, the Bible says, as you read, many of you who are watching, you've read this before, and if you haven't, here's a side note. Genesis 1:26 says that God said, let us make man in our own image and our likeness. Interesting enough that all of the creation material around it, after he spoke it, God spoke it into being, he began to look for material and to materialize that which he wanted when it came to mankind. God spoke to God. God said. And he spoke. God spoke. And when God spoke man into being, the very essence of principle of man is God. I want you to digest that for a moment. If you're going to make it count today, if you're going to understand who you are, if you're going to understand your identity as a young man, as a young woman, you're going to understand who you are as a father, as a mother, you must understand that the very essence and nature and seed inside you of who you are that holds you together is God. That is the fabric. That is the very essence of who you are. Your nature is God. But you have to be taught and trained, disciplined, and developed so you can understand, appreciate, value, take hold of it, and manifest. Make it count in order for you to mic it. In order for you to mic it, you've got to actually get in the classroom, the training ground, the development ground of God. If there was a university called God University, you have to learn all of the God ideology, God philosophy, God's teaching, God, everything. The curriculum, the extracurricular activities, everything must be about God. Because what it's saying is that God, creator, powerful, omnipotent, is the essence of your being. And so in time, in order for you to make things count, to make life happen for you, you've got to understand that life is happening as a result of who you are and whom you were created by. Whom you were created by God. And not just by him from anything, you were created by him, from God as the material, from God as the essence, as the spirit. You are God in image and likeness. And so as we develop this time, everything has a reason. And everything has a reason. That means everything has a purpose. Everything has a beginning. And everything has an ending. Everything has beginnings. Everything has beginnings. And everything has endings. And so when we understand that, we must understand that then everything is going to develop on the basis of the discipline required and the existence of those principles that are necessary for maturation. So you are going to be matured, but your maturity is going to be based on the principles that you are using and that you're going to apply that already exists for the reason for your existence, which is a requirement for your discipline, for your development. And as you now develop and mature in the discipline, in doing that what you should be doing, which is the principles, you will mature. I hope I didn't lose you. Okay, let me break it down slow. So everything is going to develop. Okay, it's going to develop, but on the basis of discipline. What's the discipline? The teachings. You're going to become a better car driver by how many times you test drive the car. How many times you practice? You become a better basketball player by how many times you play on the court and you stay up and you keep on shooting, keep on going, keep on going, keep on going. You're going to develop based on the discipline. The discipline now, the discipline is your practice. The discipline is the practice accurately, though. You're not just doing anything. You're doing what is going to cause you to hit the shot, to make the shot. You're not just shooting in air, shooting aimlessly. You are practicing. You're doing what you're doing today purposefully because you want to hit the shot, because when the game comes, you need to hit the shot. Brothers and sisters, what I'm saying is you need to develop yourself as a young man. Learn from your fathers. Learn from those around you as leaders in the community, because when the day comes for you to be the man and show up as the leader, you've got to be the man and show up as the leader. Same thing for you, young women. You've got to learn in the ideas of what womanhood is, so you can show up in the day of showing up as a woman, as a mother, as a friend, as a sister, as a daughter, as a wife on game day. But it's going to take development based on discipline. That means you've got to do it. The discipline is required. It is a requirement for you to do certain things. It's a requirement for you to be in a frame of mind so you can understand what that is about. And at the end of the day, you're going to mature. That's time. So time is maturity. So I would say time is teaching and maturing. That's the M. Everyone. Okay? Time is teaching individuals. That's the I. The M is maturing. Is maturing. Teaching individuals. Maturing. And the E there is everyone. Why is it important? When you actually make it count, everybody else benefits from it. When you make the right decision, everyone benefits from it. It's a benefit to the community when you do the right thing. When you decide to be a man and not become a woman, you do the right thing. It benefits the community where other men are watching, so they can be affirmation of their identity and their manhood and their responsibility as a man, as a father, as a provider, as a progenitor, as a leader, as a brother. Make it count. To make it count, or to make it count, we says make is the word manufacture. The root word there is manufacture. The root word is manufacture. Produce, to fashion, to fit, to build. So to make means, if I want to make it count, I'm going to manufacture it correctly. I'm going to make it. When anyone makes a product, they're making a product to solve a problem. They're making a product for a community of people, for a nation of people, for a customer that needs this service to better their lives. Every product that is invented or that has been invented or should be invented should be something that betters you, it empowers you, it helps and adds to the life that you are doing. So it makes life happen for you even more. To make it count. To produce. So you're going to produce. And we're going to get to the word count because count is important. I thought it was fascinating. The word count is the word calculate. So I'm going to manufacture it that is calculated, that is adding up, that makes sense. Because the word calculate is the word to make sense. I mean, it is a result or a solution. I'm going to manufacture something, manufacture it that is a solution. I'm going to manufacture it that makes sense. I'm going to manufacture it that is going to solve something. To produce, to fashion, to build, to fit. I'm going to match up with something that fits. I want to tell you something. If you're going to make life count, you got to make sure everything fits right. Your schedule. To calculate or to count is to add up, to calculate. It is to compute. It is to give the results. It is that. The purposeful, watch this, it is the purposeful bringing into existence for the addition of the whole. To make it count is the purposefully bring something into existence that it adds to the entire thing. It adds to the whole. What are you doing in your life that's going to add to your family? What are you doing in your marriage that's going to add to your spouse? What are you doing in your family life among your children that's going to add to your children and your grandchildren? What is it? What kind of decisions are you making today that's going to add to your congregation, that's going to add to your organization? It's going to add to the trajectory of the future of the country, of the community that you're in. Got to make it count. Politicians, got to make it count. You have been elected to do something in your country. You've been elected to do something in your nation. And wherever you are, you're watching, you have to do something that makes it count. You cannot take a position in life and you sitting there and you're not making it count. If you're not making it count, here's what you're not doing. You're not adding up. You're not calculate. You're not compute. You don't give results. You're not building anything. You're not making sure things are fit. You're not making sure things are fashioned together. You're not making things are going to be productive or to produce. You're not manufacturing anything. Basically, everybody that's under your control, that's under your care, that's under your leadership, they're just standing in a facility and they're marking time. In the Bahamas, we say you're just marking time. And you don't want to mark time. You're just like, okay, I've been here at 9 o'clock. Okay, I'm done at 5 o'clock. Okay. Well, what did you do today? I go to work. What did they do? What time? 9 o'clock? What time is it? 5 o'clock. And that's it. You just mark time. Now, that's not making it count at all. There has to be productive. Here's what the 39th President of the United States, Jimmy Carter, said. He says, I have one life and one chance to make it count. For something, my faith demands that I do whatever I can, wherever I am, whenever I can, for as long as I can, with whatever I have to try to make a difference. Wow. He wanted to make sure that his presidency was going to make it count. He was going to make it count. And that's his quote. So whatever he has, whatever he has, wherever he's at, whenever he's going to do what is necessary, that's going to make a difference, that's going to transform, that's going to make a difference in his constituency, in his country, in his nation, in the policies. He's going to make sure that everything is going to make sense at the end of the day for people. Because if we're people, we're human beings, we're on a planet, I'm going to make sure it counts for my neighbor because my neighbor is breathing the same oxygen that I'm breathing. So I got to make sure my neighbor understands how to live a good life and not live a life of pollution. Because if they're going to pollute their lives, their pollution is going to get into the ozone layer and it's going to affect the oxygen that I'm taking in. Because why? We're breathing the same oxygen. So why get upset with the countries next door to you? Why not give them the solution? If you know the solution is solar panel or clean green gas or some type of clean green energy, then help empower them, give them the resources, help them make the payments, help them make the policies, help them pass legislation that's going to help better their communities, help them, empower them, build them so they can fit within the society, within the countries, within the nations, within the community, within the world. I'm sure this is getting to you. Well, you got to understand when to make it count, it's like setting goals. You got to set the right goals in life. You got to set these things up. So to make it count, there's a measure of time that we all are given in a day, in a week, in a month, in a year. But we must use that measure of time in our daily life to choose or to make the choices that will impact for the long term or the short term. And the goals that we're going to make the choices on for the long term and the short term, ultimately, it will impact our purpose and manifest in the earth realm. It will manifest through who we are. So if you want to have a better educational system in your country and you're the Minister of Education, well, make it count. Make sense of it. If you're the Minister of Foreign Affairs, you're the Minister of Health, you're the Minister of Finance, and you're talking, you have a portfolio, you want to make it count. You have given every day of the week, of the month, of the year to measure the time, to make the policies, to make the necessary legislation so that it will impact your community for the future. Because when you're out of office now, watch this now, when you're out of office, you're out of the seat, you're out of the chair, you're still here. Whatever now begins to manifest needs also to assist and add value to your life because you exist in the same community and nation that we exist in. We all live in the same globe. We all live on the same earth. We live on the same planet. Let's take care of it together. Let's manage it together. Let's make it count. So for those of you, you're always thinking, as we even get closer to the end of the year, this is the final quarter, you're preparing yourself for the end of the year. You want to end the year strong. You want to make sure you set those goals. So if you're going to live this life now as a kingdom citizen, as a kingdom individual, you've got to understand that living from a kingdom-minded perspective is significant for you as an individual, because what you will do determines the impact of the kingdom within the spheres that you're in, within the earth, within this time that you are representing the kingdom in. Because once you are a kingdom ambassador, once you are a citizen, you are already representing your country, your nation, as an individual. Once you're born again. You are now a citizen of the kingdom. You are a representative no matter where you go in the earth realm. You now have to make sure that whatever you're doing is from a kingdom-minded perspective. So the decisions to make a business deal, the decisions to transform your community, you must be able to make sure that you are a part, and as an administration, an association, that you are giving advice from a kingdom perspective that is going to deploy efforts of solution and efforts of transformational change so that the people, the children, the generation behind coming up, the elderly, those who are now gone on before you, who are still here, they are going to reap the benefit of your decisions. They're going to reap the benefit of your choices. They're going to reap the benefit of your legislation. They're going to reap the benefit because you're representing the kingdom. So here's how you make it count. You're making it count the time to produce a culture which reflects or is reflected in your lifestyle. When you're making it count, you end up producing all of this that you're doing now, the discipline, all of this produces a culture which is reflected in your lifestyle. So this is a lifestyle at the end of the day. When you make it count, when you understand there's a time to kill, there's a time to be born, there's a time to pluck up, it all is a result of lifestyle. Your lifestyle is going to determine how you pluck up. So you're not just plucking up because you want to remove things out of the way. You're going to pluck it up purposefully so that it will be able to be advanced. There's something called transplant. Transplant is to move something from one location and to put it in another location. And so there's some things that needs to move from one location, pluck it up, and put in another location, plant it, so that it can be repurposed. There's some leaders in life that need to be repurposed. You don't need to be plucked up and thrown away and burned in the fire, but you need to be plucked up and repurposed so you can develop a community from a citizenship level, from a senior citizenship level, so it will better the community as an advisory councilman, so it can better the community from a standpoint where you oversee as a father, as a grandfather, as a grandmother, so you can oversee the development of what the next generation creativity and innovation is going to now be deployed in the earth. So you're not just moving it, but you're producing a culture that's going to reflect lifestyle. So you're not tearing down because you just want to tear down. You're tearing down so you can expand. You're tearing down so you can improve. You're tearing down so you can blow things up bigger and make things more massive so that other people can have benefit from it. So if you're changing the curriculum of the educational system, you shouldn't put things in that's going to poison children. You should put things in the curriculum that's going to advance children. If you're going to change things in the medical arena, you're not going to change things that are going to cause people to become more decapitated or more dysfunctional or disabled. You're going to make sure there are there are policies in there that's going to able the people, enable them, and empower them. Make it count. Here's some last keys here. If you're going to set some goals in life, as we begin to wrap up, you're going to set goals. For those of you who want to make it count, you really want to make life count. There's a time for everything. And right now, this is your time in your season to advance. I hear some of you say, this is my time in my season to advance. I've been through the night season. Now it's the daytime. It's time to celebrate. It's time to dance. Well, I want to admonish you and I want to encourage you that you need to set some goals, because while you have the time and there's a new season on your life, and there's a new shift, you've got to be able to set the goals. You got to set the standards, set the tune. You got to create the culture so that whatever you begin to do, it creates a lifestyle that's kingdom-minded. So you got to set goals based on results. What's the result? The result is the kingdom expansion, the kingdom manifesting. The result is a better community. So you got to set goals based on that. You got to set goals based on what fit. Okay? You got to set goals based on what's being produced or what is productive. You got to set goals on what can be produced. You got to set goals based on what can be manufactured, manifested. You know, many people in life, they want to be a part of business ideas and they're doing things and they have no clue what is happening. How are you going to prosper in something that you don't know? How is it that you're going to try to engage in an environment? You're going to try to engage into a system, into a biology, into a religion, into a relationship, and you have no idea the effects or the results of what you're doing. Well, we know the world out there, they're creating all kinds of things. They're trying to interact and they're trying to experiment, trying to manufacture their own concept of family. And the reality of that is that the results of it is already beginning to affect people. They're already beginning to see the response of those under them, those who are being decapitated, those who are losing their lives, who are committing suicide, who's saying they want out. They don't want to play this game anymore. They want to leave the planet. They want to say, put pause on life, and I want to stay out of it. There's a song, the Bahamian song, that says, stop the world and let me off. And because people, they say they're tired of going round and round in circles. They're tired of going around the political circle. They're tired of saying, okay, vote for me, and they get no change in the community, get no change in the inner city, get no change in the religious structure. People keep on saying, you know, I've spoken and I've made recommendations and still there's no change. Well, I want to let you know, you got to set goals based on what can be produced, set goals on what can be manufactured, set goals based on what can fit and what is going to work, make sense, and set goals that is going to make life better for everybody. Amen. You got to set goals. When you set the goal, you're setting the standard. When you're setting goals, you're setting the standard. I'm going to leave you with this. Suppose one of you want to build a tower. And it says, if you're going to build a tower, you first have to sit down and estimate the cost. See if you will have enough money to complete it. For if you lay the foundation and you're not able to finish it, everyone will see it and ridicule you, saying, this person began to build and was not able to finish it. If you're going to make it count, you must understand the discipline that's going to take. You want to get married, you got to understand what's going to take. Go to marriage classes. Get involved in community social groups and help you to understand what a true family is. Understand what manhood. Learn. And those of you who are older, mentor. Pour into the next generation. Help them to understand what this whole concept of family is, what this whole concept of fathering is, this whole concept of being a husband, or being a wife, or being a teacher, or being a pilot, or being a leader, or being a politician. Help them to understand these concepts of what is being a judge, or being someone who's able to help form the Constitution, to help form the policies and create a better life for people who cannot, people who voted for you, people who've asked for you, people who support you. Make better for them. That's the whole concept of making it count. It's so that lives will become better as you're better. If you're going to make it count, it has to begin and start with a great attitude, an attitude of gratitude, an attitude of achievement, that I'm going to achieve something that everybody's going to benefit from. And I'm gonna make a decision that everybody is going to benefit because I want the people around me to do better. If you want people around you to do better, you will see a longer sustainability in your leadership. You would see more people voting for you for the second, third, fourth, fifth time around. Even when you say, hey, I'm done, they will still call for you because your leadership is amazing. And when you're done, you mentor people to empower them so that the generation of wisdom can continue to go on. Because you want the community to continue to go on forward, upward, and onward. And better. Always keep it positive. Always. And my friends and my brothers, as we're getting to a close, I've had an amazing time sharing this word with you. But you got to keep it positive. You got to understand that if you're going to make it count, you got to set those goals. You got to make it right. You got to make sure that everything that you're doing inspires people. It motivates people. Because at the end of the day, you've got to make sure that what you're doing is a kingdom impact. It's a life that's worth living. It's a life that's better. Thank you so much for watching Kingdom School of Empowered Living right here on the BFM channel. It's been amazing. It's been a great time. See you again soon. And remember, let's continue to transform into a leader. So one day we can be the leaders and the agents of change. God bless.
This is Pastor David Knowles, thanking you on behalf of our senior pastors, Dave and Angela Burrows, and our fellowship pastors, Pastors Kush and Suzette Dowell, and our pastoral team for your ongoing financial support to Bahamas Faith Ministries International. We are focused and will remain diligent in obeying the commission given by Jesus Christ, our Lord and King, to his disciples when he was leaving earth. He said to them, therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So here are 4 ways in which you can continue to aid us in doing this. Number 1, go to our website at www.bahamasfaithministries.org and go to the Give button. Number 2, at the seed box at the Miles E. Munroe Diplomat Center in Nassau, Bahamas, the place where God lives. Number 3, by direct deposits in the Bahamas. Our bank is the Bank of the Bahamas. Our account is in the name of Bahamas Faith Ministries. Our account number is 135-00-00886. Our branch is Shirley Street Branch, and our branch number is 03157. So that we can properly allocate your giving to the proper designated area, such as tithes and offerings and storehouse or any other special purpose, please send us an email to bfmigive@gmail.com. Number 4, by credit card in person at the Miles E. Munroe Diplomat Center. Let us take over the world for the kingdom of heaven. Know that you are blessed in Jesus' name.
Join us for Kingdom School of Empowered Living every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Live from the Miles E. Munroe Diplomat Center via the BFMI Global Media Network. Kingdom School of Empowered Living, transforming you to become an agent of change.
We hope that you have been blessed by tonight's program. Be sure to join us right back here this Sunday at 9:45 a.m. for our weekly Kingdom celebration. Until next time, I'm Talia Pinderole, encouraging you to go and be an agent of change.
Thank you for watching this week's Kingdom School of Empowered Living. If you've been blessed by tonight's program, let us know in the comments section or by emailing us at mystory.bfmi@gmail.com. Just got saved? Let us know and we will send you the book, What Do I Do Now? A 13-step guide by Dr. Dave Burrows to help you navigate through taking the next steps in your faith walk. Looking for a place to belong? Join us Sundays at 10 a.m. online or in person for our Kingdom Celebration service here at Bahamas Faith Ministries in beautiful Nassau, Bahamas. We promise you, your life will never be the same. Be sure to join us again next Wednesday at 8 p.m. for another Kingdom School of Empowered Living.